Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go through another segment of my visit to Ivoclar. And in this video, we are going to be watching as Dr. Frank explains the digital denture impressions on the computer screen and what the impressions he took for the digital denture look like on the computer screen, and how they analyze it and things of that nature. Now, a few people have asked how many days I was there and how long it took for all these different procedures with the impressions, the bite registration, and picking up tooth color and shape. It was all done in one visit that lasted about an hour and a half. Oh, my son's stealing my belt. So I'm just making my intro kind of quick. I'm doing this before I have to go to work because on the weekends I do work day shifts. Again, I want to mention that it's taking me some time to go through the comments and Instagram messages, and that's only because I just started working again. I do have 2 children, and I have one child that has special needs. I don't show her too often on camera because she doesn't generally like it. So with that being said, please be patient with me when it comes to getting back to you guys. I know in the comment section yesterday, as I was looking through the comments to sort of answer some, there was a couple angry individuals, and I want to apologize to them, thinking that I had forgotten about them or I wasn't going to help them. One of them also made a comment which they retracted, stating that I don't help anyone, it's all about help for myself. That is not the case. This segment is just for the ivoclar that I'm doing now. These segments is for educational purposes and going along with my journey. In no way, shape, or form am I trying to be selfish or self-centered in any way. I will be getting back to comments and Instagram messages. Just please be patient with me. My time is stretched very thin. So again, I apologize to those of you that feel I have forgotten about you, but I haven't. Just please know that there's a few thousand people that I have to get back to, and I do get quite a lot of messages, and I try to respond to everyone. Some things get lost, some comments, get lost within everything, and some Instagram messages may get lost. So it's not that I'm ignoring you or anything like that, so don't take it personally. With that being said, let's get into the video of Dr. Frank explaining in detail what they look for on the computer screen for the digital denture with the impressions that he took. So, oh, excuse me, I had like a frog in my throat or something. I just want to say I hope all of you enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend. Remember to spread love and not hate. Show kindness to one another. I can't press that enough. Please show kindness to each other because it's so important in today's society to be kind to one another and to be a support system for each other, and to really, and this is Cash, if all of you haven't met him, my Bull Mastiff mix puppy. He's my buddy. But okay, I lost my train of thought. So basically just be just be kind to each other, love each other, and just be positive, and patience. Patience is a virtue. All right? So with all that being said, smile no matter what, even if your dog is trying to take over your videos. And as always, peace. Okay, Dr. Frank, what are we looking at?
Okay, well, this is what we did this morning. We took upper and lower impressions, and we took a bite relationship relating the lower and the upper jaws together. And so this is our good starting point. to start the process of designing a denture and figuring out, how much room, how much space, what kind of relationship to put the teeth to. The shapes of the upper and lower are going to be, let's see what he's got here. It doesn't have all the icons up yet, so I can't erase the models, but you can kind of see the different models that we have. Now, normally, if this was an analog type procedure, those impressions would have been poured up, and these would have been literally physical stone.
Oh, wow.
And instead of that, they look like models that you would see in your hand, but they're actually virtual. And you can see how descriptive they are. Now, when I took that light body wash impression, what that brought out was all this detail. See, like in here? See the detail of that? Those are little fibers, little muscle fibers.
Oh, wow.
And so by taking that type of impression with that, detail, we could see these things, and then we'll do our design to accommodate for the different, so here's your frenal attachment here.
Oh, wow.
So same thing on this side. See how graphic that is?
Yeah, that's
Now, if this was poured up in a plaster or stone or whatever, you wouldn't have appreciated that level of detail.
Right.
And the same thing with the upper. We've got some artifacts which we'll get rid of, and some of the upper model. I can't quite expose the whole thing to you. There was a bubble in the impression, which we have a wonderful way to get rid of. So we'll take care of that. But here's your attachments on the upper. They're very graphic and easy to accommodate.
That is amazing.
And design for. So it really does take a magnificent level of clarity.
Oh, wow.
So that's all the roof of your mouth and all the different folds and rugae and whatever. That's all captured within microns of detail and accuracy. So hopefully that'll reflect on the dentures when they're fabricated, that they'll have, interpreted all that accuracy into the accuracy of the final denture. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Next time you come, we'll show you this in a little bit more detail, because this is just the scan.
Right.
Now this scan is now going to go enter into a designing process, which is kind of another entity. But we could backtrack and show you that whole design when you come back in next time.
Okay.
How we put the teeth in and position the teeth, and even involve you if you want to look at the teeth and say, gee, I kind of would like that one tooth a little bit more crooked or something. we could play some games with it and try some different things. One of the things we didn't talk about, which I think is probably one of the key services of this technology, is the fact that once we're done, and let's say we make a very satisfactory denture, and it's teeth that you like and teeth in a position you like, then we'll have this electronic memory. So that, you walk out of here and a dog bites you and the teeth fall out and runs right with them. You could come right back in and we press a button, and you could have teeth that are exactly the same.
Oh,
and
wow.
that I think is a huge psychological benefit, and you tell me, knowing that, if you finally get to a point where, I like the way I look, I like the teeth and everything else, God forbid something happens. But now knowing that, God forbid something did happen, you have a backup, no matter what part of the world you're in or whatever. These could always be, the file is saved electronically, and you could always go back to that memory and retrieve that information and give you exactly the same teeth in the same position and have you the same look that you just had.
That is
which is kind of a nice feature, even for dentists to realize that after the maybe it's a challenging patient to really get it to look right, and they have to do multiple try-ins. But once you really get the teeth in a relationship that makes the patient satisfied and fulfilled, then just kind of nice. I just have to get it right one time. Because once it's right, then we could, always keep that and always refer right back to that. And if you looked at it and say, I like everything, but boy, I just wish that one tooth was a little, that's no issue. Come right back electronically and just make that little bit of change. So depending on the amount of involvement that a patient likes to get involved with, and the dentist, for that matter, it's here. It's just a matter of how much you want to dive into this technology to help yourself and make these changes. So exciting, huh?
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. But just quick analysis of what you have. You've got very full ridges from the standpoint of the height of the ridges. And one of the photographs I took of you was smiling, and you could see your rim of your tissue. That kind of tells you that it's going to be a little bit of a challenge setting teeth.
Is it?
Because there's not a lot of space.
Okay.
Because your tissues have not resorbed. If this was, I hate to let you even think of this, but if 30, 40 years down the road, what you're seeing here would probably be, well, way down here someplace.
Oh, wow.
And same thing with the upper, maybe not quite as dramatic, but the lower is typically very, very dramatic.
Is there anything to prevent that, or?
Well, we talked about implants.
Yes.
And if you put an implant into the bone, it does significantly reduce the course of bone resorption. Okay. And that's why I said you're young. I would think you should put this on your radar screen as far as having implants. And how many, where to put them, whatever, that's all according to the x-ray analysis and the bone quality and quantity. But typically on the lower. The upper doesn't resorb as severely as the lower, at about 1/4 the rate of resorption on the upper. And it's not as much of a factor on the upper, where the lower really becomes a nightmare. Because if all this anatomy is gone, what do you have to hold that lower denture?
Yeah.
And the more it moves, the more it shifts, the more it hurts, the more uncomfortable it is, the more that you find it in the drawer instead of your mouth. And so if you could prevent some of that bone loss with early implant placement, that's a smart thing to do. But that's a different story.
Yep, different time.
For a different time. And for right now, we're just going to try our best to fit a denture to what we have to work with.
All right.
And go from there.
Well, thank you.
Okay.